Hey, what's going on? It's your humble correspondent, John Ross Marcus Cox, coming back at you with the Way Too Much JMC podcast. Hope everybody's having a great day. I know we got beautiful weather here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm excited to get into the evening with my fam here. But we got a article, little news of the day that I gotta touch on today because goes right along with what I've been saying for over a year now on the show, and that is that the minute we can get working class whites, blacks, and Hispanics to realize that we are all on the same damn team, we're going to do some big things. All right, now I know that here's a little while ago I discussed the Fox News poll with all y'all, and it was showing support among black voters as far as where it was at with Joe Biden in 2020 and Donald Trump in 2020, and then where it was at on August 14th of 2023. And so support among black voters, I'm just going to show you the graphic here real quick. So those of y'all that are watching, you'll see in 2020, 91% of black voters supported Joe Biden, where only 8% supported Trump. In August of 2023, Biden's support was down to 61%. It had dropped 30%. And Trump's had increased to 20%. Now, obviously, that leaves another 20% somewhere that's still undecided. But to have a 30-point swing in support versus not supporting for any one candidate, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that means that there's somebody's had some kind of epiphany, right? And so, I got some clips and some things I want to listen to real quick, and then I'm going to talk about the actual article I want to talk about today. But I just want to show you how this has been building up over the last year. So, again, let's keep in mind this poll I'm talking about, okay? And let's start. Where's it going at? I know y'all are getting to go through my Twitter feed here with me real quick. But let's start with little Eric Adams here real quick.
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We got a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted.
All right, so that's clip one. That is Mayor Eric Adams from New York City. Obviously, for those of y'all that are watching, he's a black dude. And you see there's other African Americans in the back on this little panel that he's talking to. There's also a bunch of young white guys, looks like, in the background there. But here we have a black mayor with a D beside his name, saying he's a Democrat, talking about how illegal immigration is going to destroy New York City, and how they're piling through the southern border, and it's going to impact every single household, every single person in New York City if they don't put a stop to it. Sounds to me like you got a black Democratic mayor yelling to build a wall. Sounds to me like you got a black Democratic mayor saying the same thing that poor working class whites are saying all along the South and all along the Texas border, all along the Arizona border. Same thing that many a Hispanic that's saying that lives in Arizona, New Mexico, South Texas. I'm like, legal immigration is what all those demographics want taking place, not illegal immigration, because we don't know how to manage that. All right, the other thing that's funny, he's talking about a $12 billion deficit, and they're going to have to cut spending. Talking about deficits, my man Eric, You start to sound like a conservative, brother. Just telling you, maybe you want to watch yourself. So that's clip number 1 I want you to hear. Here is another one, and this is from a Democrat in Mississippi talking about credible proof of election fraud. Here we go.
We have videotape of Jackie Amos going into boxes, bringing in thumb drives, bringing in ballots to be inserted into machines. We have pictures of Jackie Amos participating in what we think that is fraud as well as corruption. And so we want to be absolutely clear that this matter is not only with the Hinds County Democratic Party, but this matter is with every citizen in the state of Mississippi. This is the opportunity to stop corruption and to stop fraud when it comes to elections in the state of Mississippi.
But wait a second. I thought it was only crazy white Trump supporters that thought that there was anything wrong in our election process. I thought it was only January 6th insurrectionists that thought this. No, it's not true, and it never was true. The average person, regardless of skin color, racial background, ethnic background, hair color, whatever, the average person wants elections to be fair, transparent, and secure. It's not debatable. We've let the Democratic Party and some Republican establishment, divide us based on race and ethnic background. They don't want Masons talking to blacks. They don't want blacks talking to working class whites. They don't want it. I've learned this over the last year and a half. Whatever they, quote unquote, they don't want us doing, that's what we should be doing. So we all need to be talking to each other. Here's the next one. Okay, and if you got kids in the car, if you got kids around watching it, get them out. Put earmuffs on. All right? I try to keep the show somewhat family friendly, but here's the deal, guys. I'm trying to show y'all, I'm trying to prove a point that normal people agree on these things. All right? And bad language it's a common occurrence with normal people, myself included. So put the earmuffs on the kids, all right, or pause or whatever, come back, once you got them out. But again, what you're looking at here, you got a young black male that's about to spit some game on you. Here we go.
I'm telling you, listen, let me tell you something. Any of my friends, any of my family, if I see y'all motherfuckers voting for Joe Biden, we gonna have to square up. I don't give a fuck who you is. From male, female, child, we gonna have to square the fuck up. This motherfucker really gave Maui $700. $700. U.S. citizens. $700 fucking dollars. But you gonna send billions of dollars to motherfuckers that's not even American citizens, bro? Are you serious? What the fuck is $700 gonna do? They're fucking they have no home, bro. This shit made me mad, bro. Seriously. If y'all vote Democrat this year, we gonna have to square the fuck up. Seriously. That's on everything. That's on everything.
My dude said you're going to square up. For y'all crunchy white people, what he's saying is that he about to fight some people. You got to put your dukes up. That's the white way. And put your dukes up, man. Cause listen, white people, they make y'all think black people are from another planet or something. They're not. They think the same stuff. Skin color really actually doesn't make us different. Believe it or not, we're the same. They think it's absolutely bullshit that we have sent $118 billion to Ukraine, but then can't give more aid than we have to the people in Maui after these fires. There ain't a black person in America that you're going to be able to find that doesn't agree with that sentiment. At the same time, I hope the Republicans that are listening hear this as well. The black dude and this white dude right here, ain't neither one of us saying that ain't no money. There shouldn't have been no financial aid sent to Maui. We ain't talking just about not spending money. We're talking about helping our own, taking care of our own, instead of trying to be the police of the world. Here's the next one. This is a black dad talking about a pornographic book being in his kid's school. And listen, they don't know what to do. And you'll see it's a black dad talking. It's a bunch of white people on the school board telling him to shut up because he can't be talking like this. Here we go.
Now on the topic of these pornographic books that you keep calling these point of contacts on as it relates to whether they should be read or not. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, currently in Storm Grove Middle School and Freshman Learning Center, page 265. As if letting him finger me was going to cure all my problems,
Sir, I'll stop
but
you there.
in the end,
Sir, I will
never
stop
told
you
to get
there,
away.
and then
And
we
you
will
didn't.
continue
You stopped
to
rubbing
not look at
circles
that. I'm
on my
going to stop
stomach.
you there, please.
Instead, you rubbed
Would you
back
cut
and
the
forth,
microphone, please?
gently along my
Cut the
waist.
microphone.
Your pinky made its way
Cut it.
under the
Stop
top of
it,
my
please.
panties
Sir,
and rolled
stop
back
it.
and forth
If you don't
from
stop,
hip
I'll
to
ask
hip.
you to leave. Thank you.
He doesn't need a microphone.
Yes, sir, I asked you to stop, and you're going to have to leave if you don't continue with that. Yes, sir. No, sir, I asked you to stop. I asked you to stop. Sir, if you don't, sir, I'm asking you to stop. If you don't do it, we're going to have you removed. Thank you. Please. I've asked you to stop. Yes, sir, I've asked you to stop. Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Now, am I the only person that thinks that's just crazy ironic that you got some white woman on this panel telling a black dude to stop talking and stop being obscene, talking about obscenity and all that stuff, and trying to shout the black man down because she doesn't know what to do. It's so against the narrative. Like, there's no way that anybody can tell me that wasn't uncomfortable for her because she expected some white dads to come up in there. They ain't ready for the revolution. We're trying to start here. Working class whites, blacks, and Hispanics, white, brown, and black. But I'm telling you right now that we will never lose an election. We will take this country over. I got one more for you. I think it's gonna be it. I think it's gonna be it. All right, but again, put the earmuffs on you kids. But I want y'all to hear what real people are talking about. Here we go.
If Joe Biden was here right now, what would you tell him?
Let me tell you why. Cause man, gas high, bro. I ain't finna keep putting no $130, $45 in my car. Man, listen, Joe Biden, you a I'm gonna tell you like that. That's all I gotta say for you.
He ain't a full sender like Trump.
Why?
Because he ain't the Happy Dads gang.
If Joe Biden was here right now, what would you tell him?
Tell him to get out of office, man. He's up. He's old. He's falling off of bikes and it's over, man. Give it up.
He's falling off of bikes and shit, man. Give it up. That's awesome.
I tell him, let Trump back in office. He did better for the black culture.
Trump 2024, man.
If Joe Biden was here right now, what would you tell him?
Wow. I would say, how did you f it all up, Joe? You know, because everybody was on Trump, trying to get him out the office. They worked real hard, got him out the office, got Biden in the office, and then he just dropped the ball.
If Joe Biden was here right now, what would you tell him?
Suck my dick.
Why?
He's on some bullshit, like, you know what I'm saying? People thought they had it bad with Trump, but it's like Biden is on some shit like he's giving billions of dollars to other countries, but claiming we're in a recession. So it's like, who you really with? You know what I'm saying? We voted for an American president, not a Ukraine president. It's like, where our money at? You know what I'm saying? I'm not hurting though. I'm pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the regular American people, that's 9-to-5ers and middle class and low class, they hiring IRS agents to come after people and whatnot. That shit corny. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit bogus.
If Joe Biden was here right now, what would you tell him?
are you and where's Trump at?
You said, who's Joe Biden?
Who's Joe Biden? Where's Trump at?
Joe Biden is the president.
No. I need Trump back, man. I need
Trump back? Why?
Trump's the guy, man. Why not? Joe Biden's too goddamn old for us, man. Oh, man.
So Trump 2024?
Trump 2024, yes, sir.
If Joe Biden was here right now, what would you tell him?
I tell him eat and die and stick the American flag in his because he's a traitor, son of a old, feeble-minded. And Donald Trump is my.
Why?
Because he's the #1 president out of all times, from George Washington on down, and he don't give a. And he a gangster, and I want a gangster as my president. And he the really ain't free Kodak, yeah.
I gotta stop it on that. He did. He free Kodak Black, baby. I know all the white people listening to the show. Y'all don't know who Kodak is. I'll do some shows on Kodak. He's done with them. If you read his lyrics, he's about it too. He's saying it. Trump is gangster. Actually, he says gangster. He says he's also his you know what. I can't say that word. But for those of y'all that can't see, that aren't watching the show, all right, like that entire video was all black dudes from all different cities and stuff talking about who they want to be the president, Donald Trump, and what they keep talking about. Gas too high. IRS agent bullshit. People like going after American citizens. Then the biggest one, which I've been harping on all along, that I want Republicans and Democrats to know, like ain't nobody about this. Ukraine. That's they all talking about it. They think it's absolutely asinine that we're sending all the money over there. I don't care. I don't need to know if shit's bad. I don't need to know. Stuff is bad here. $118 billion? Nah, man. And obviously I'm not alone. So why am I showing you all these clips? Because as of today, September 22nd, 2023, a Republican mayor is leading one of the largest metropolitan areas in the United States, that being Dallas, Texas. Let's flip over here real quick. Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson is now a Republican, he says. And he goes on to say, American cities need Republicans, and Republicans need American cities. When my political hero Theodore Roosevelt was born, only 20% of Americans lived in urban areas. By the time he was elected president, that share had doubled to 40. Today it stands at 80. As America's cities go, so goes America. All right, so what made him do this? He says he's leaving the Democratic Party to become a Republican, saying that while his city was able to thrive under his leadership, Democratic policies everywhere else in the nation have put U.S. cities in disarray. I have no intention of changing my approach to my job, but today I'm changing my party affiliation. And that's what I've been saying all along. People are registered one way, and they are living their lives another way. There's been a disconnect. Poor whites were Democrat a long time. They already flipped to red. All right, like here in Kentucky, we hadn't had a Republican legislature in like 80 years or something crazy until like 6 years ago. Because we were living one way, voting another way. Black people have historically voted Democrat, even though there are some of the most conservative people I've ever met, more family oriented than anybody I've ever met. All right, more culturally conservative, absolutely, than anybody I've ever met. But we're voting Democrat. Hispanics have been voting Democrat, even though many of them, especially of people coming here from Cuba, were fleeing communism and socialism. We're still voting Democrat. It didn't make no sense, but we're having a realignment. So you want to change your approach to your job, your life, nothing. You already live in that way. You're just voting the wrong people. Next spring, I'll be voting in the Republican primary when my career in elected office ends in 2027. On the inauguration of my successor as mayor, I will leave office as a Republican. Johnson's 23 years in public office have been defined by his affiliation with the Democratic Party. He was elected as a member of the Texas House of Representatives in a special election where he won the Democratic primary with 75% of the vote, and he was subsequently reelected to that post 5 times. When he was elected as mayor 4 years ago, he became the second ever African-American mayor to be elected in Dallas history. But while Johnson has been a Democrat his entire career, he has focused on increasing funding for public safety and economic development, two issues that are typically associated with the Republican Party. On Friday, Johnson vocally criticized the Democratic mayors of other large cities for approaching their cities as laboratories for liberalism and blasted them for not prioritizing public safety nor exercising fiscal restraint. Too often, local tax dollars are spent on policies that exacerbate homelessness, coddle criminals, and make it harder for ordinary people to make a living, the mayor said. And too many local Democrats insist on virtue signaling, proposing half-baked government programs that aim to solve every single societal ill, and on finding new ways to thumb their noses at Republicans at the state or federal level. Enough. This makes for good headlines, but not for safer, stronger, more vibrant cities. Johnson's announcement was celebrated by other Texas Republicans like Governor Greg Abbott and Senator John Cornyn, who applauded the decision to change his party affiliation. Johnson pointed out that he would be the only Republican mayor leading the nation's 10 largest cities, but stopped short of calling it the effects of a red wave. Dallas is the 9th largest city in the United States. It is clear that the nation and its cities have reached a time for choosing, and the overwhelming majority of Americans who call our cities home deserve to have real choices, not progressive echo chambers at City Hall, Johnson said. Boys, listen. Boys and girls. We're on the precipice. We are on the precipice of something extremely, extremely important. But it's fragile. And we have to stay in the right frame of mind, and we got to stay focused on the task at hand. We can't be worrying about sitting back, kicking a beer, drinking a beer, picking back in the lazy boy, watching football and all. I love football too, but listen, it's time for action. We got to be out in our communities having conversations with people that look different than us. We got to build bridges in our communities. We got to win the war of ideas. But it's there. It's brewing. The revolution has already started. We just got to decide if we're going to be a part of it or not. If we're going to be part of the problem or part of the solution. But I wholeheartedly know all we got to do to right this ship is get those three communities talking. Working class whites, the African American community, the Hispanic communities. If we three will talk to each other and block out Republican establishment, Democrat establishment, because neither one of them are talking about what we're talking about. Block them out. Us talk together. Us get in the same rooms with each other. Sky's the limit. Appreciate y'all for listening and hope y'all have a great rest of your week. And this is Way Too Much to RMC. Have a great day.